And over $10 million, you've got your father-in-law's inheritance, don't you? You excuse me. What are you talking about? We needed to cover your sister's compensation. One day my husband dropped this unbelievable bombshell, and to make matters worse, he even canceled our daughter's education savings plan behind my back. That was the last straw. If he wants to play this game, I'll fight back with everything I've got. My name is Opal. I live with my husband Leopold and our middle school daughter Abby. Our family has always been close, and we often have lively conversations. For the past few years, we have been living a fulfilling life, despite our busy schedules. I lost my mother when I was very young and was raised in a single-parent household by my father. My father, too, passed away from an illness 2 years ago. By the time his illness was discovered, he had only 6 months left to live. That's why it was a huge shock when my father passed away. The only reason I was able to overcome my father's death was thanks to the support of my husband and daughter. Because my father owned several businesses during his lifetime, the inheritance left to me amounted to several tens of millions of dollars. Although I had been working full-time and had a fair amount of savings, the sudden influx of such a large sum of money left me in disarray. When I received the inheritance, I consulted with my husband, keeping the exact amount confidential. What should we do with such a large amount of money? They say having too much money can change people, but it's something your father-in-law left for us, isn't it? Well, yes, but after all, Abby has high school and college to think about in the future. Shouldn't you just gratefully accept the money? Oh, Paul. You're right. I should. After several discussions with my husband, we decided to save my father's inheritance not as money to be used freely, but as money to be used in a family emergency. And for the past few years, I have kept my promise and haven't touched my father's inheritance at all. We had always been prudent with our spending, carefully managing our combined incomes and leading a peaceful day-to-day life. Until one day, when my husband came home with an unexpected bombshell. Hey, Opal, can we talk for a second? Busy with the dishes, I responded. What's up? To which he dropped the bomb. Oh, my parents have asked us for a loan. Your father's inheritance is still there, right? Wait, what? What are you talking about? I don't fully understand it myself, but they seem to be in financial trouble. We don't have that kind of spare cash in our savings, do we? So I thought, maybe from your father's inheritance. No, how can we lend them money without a clear reason? Caught off guard by his sudden and unreasonable request, I raised my voice. My husband sighed, looking annoyed, and began to explain. I didn't ask for details, but it's a fact that my parents are in a serious bind. But that doesn't mean we can just. It's unreasonable to ask for this all of a sudden, because even if they are in financial trouble, isn't it strange to give money from my father's inheritance? It's not strange, right? Wasn't it agreed upon that the inheritance is for family emergencies? My parents are in trouble. Isn't that an emergency enough? No matter what I said, he remained steadfast. A sense of disbelief and suspicion toward him grew within me. How much money was he talking about? And why from my father's inheritance? What does it mean if they need more than what's in our savings? Carrying these concerns, I hesitantly asked him, how much are we talking about here? About $10 million. Excuse me. I said $10 million? Your father's inheritance was way more than this, right? We can't afford to lend it, can we? Are you kidding me? There is no way we can lend that kind of money. It seemed that this figure was already decided between my husband and his parents. Deciding on such a significant matter without any discussion with me, I couldn't describe my feelings as a rage toward my husband grew. I've already told my parents that we'll lend it to them. Against his blunt statement, I protested as much as I could. In any case, we can't lend such a large amount. Sorry, but you have to decline. Hey, were you listening to me? I already told my parents that we are lending them the money. Enough, fine. I'll go and tell them, not myself. With a loud shout, I headed to my in-laws' house the very next day. Facing my in-laws, I confronted them immediately. So, tell me, why do you need $10 million? It's a lot of money. Well, that's a dear. That's darling. My in-laws exchanged glances, faltering to respond. Their vague attitude infuriated me, and I raised my voice then and there. Enough is enough. You can't even tell me what it's for, and yet you expect me to lend you $10 million. If you're not going to explain, then I'm not going to lend it. Oh, Paul, come down for a moment. Calm down. How can I possibly calm down if you're not going to talk? I'm leaving. And as I stood to leave, my mother-in-law shouted, "Wait." Oh, well, the truth is, Shiloh, my daughter, has been unfaithful again, and now her husband and the other woman's wife are demanding compensation. Oh, what? What again? Shiloh did the same thing 4 years ago, didn't she? Yes, and now I need $10 million to pay them up. $10 million in compensation is a significant amount. What on earth is she doing? And so, Shiloh, my husband's sister, had cheated once before, leaving her child with me. She would slip away to meet other men. The first time she cheated, her parents took on the responsibility of paying the compensation, and she never had to pay a dime. And now it is happening all over again. Watching me shake with anger, my mother-in-law awkwardly continued, "Opal, remember how upset you were when Shiloh cheated the first time? That's why. So that's why you had my husband ask me for $10 million without giving a reason. Yes, would you be able to? I had thought I was immune to such trouble, but this was the state of my husband's family. Why did my husband and in-laws spoil Shiloh so much? It was because of the circumstances of her birth. Unlike with my husband, Shiloh was born via emergency C-section after a difficult labor, after a birth that left her between life and death, and with a long-awaited baby girl in their arms, the parents were overjoyed. With a beloved little sister in their lives, my husband too adored Shiloh with affection. From her brother and parents, Shiloh grew up to be a self-centered monster with barely any moral sense. That night, I confronted my husband about the conversation with his parents, but he was not challenged. Shiloh can't afford $10 million, neither can Mom and Dad. You're the only one we can turn to, pal. You get that right? It's not about getting it. Why should I have to pay your sister's compensation? Shiloh is your sister-in-law, isn't she? Don't you want to help your family? The reason we are in this mess again is because you bailed her out the last time she cheated. Well, you inherited money from your father, right? You won't be troubled by losing $10 million. Why should I have to use my precious inheritance from my father to pay for my sister-in-law's indiscretion? Furious at my husband's attitude, I made it clear to his parents over the phone the next day. I was called heartless and inhuman, but I ignored them completely. My husband, likely having been berated by his parents, turned a torrent of abuse on me. Why are you so callous? Don't you get it? It's not just Shiloh in trouble. Mom and Dad are struggling too. Do you even understand what callous means? This whole mess started with your sister. If she's done wrong, wouldn't she be the one to take responsibility? That's why I'm asking you for help in the first place. You know, they say money changes people. I never thought it was true until now. You've become a despicable person. What? Despicable? Really? They're trying to pay off his sister's infidelity because with my father's inheritance. Isn't his family the ones with a messed up way of thinking? The next day, as I got home from work, our daughter was standing at the front door, tears in her eyes. "Abby, sweetheart, what happened?" John had left us. Seeing my face, she broke into tears. Her clothes were all rumpled, a clear sign that she had been standing at the entrance in shock for a long time. I comforted her, and slowly she regained her composure. "Tell me what happened, honey." "Dad started talking about canceling my education savings plans," she said. "What he said? My husband doesn't know where I keep the bank cards and certificates, so while I was out, he had apparently asked our daughter where they were. She knew that I managed the finances and asked him why. Because I'm canceling the education, saving plans, and insurance," was his reply. "Does Mom know about this?" "It's not okay to do it without her knowledge," she lightly warned him. But her caution was met with a fierce backlash. "Your aunt is in trouble, even if you are siding with them. If you're so cold-hearted, you're no longer my daughter," he yelled at our daughter, and then he stormed out of the house. I was shaking with anger. Had he realized that getting money from me was impossible and decided to dip into our daughter's education savings plan? At that moment, I decided I couldn't continue with him. I quickly called my husband. "Where are you right now?" "What's up, Opal?" He responded arrogantly. "Let me make it clear. I won't be coming back unless you say you will give Shyla some of your father's inheritance. It's okay if you don't come back. Just do whatever you want," making Abby cry. "It's unbelievable. Your parents. Just how much will you pamper your sister? I just tried to cancel the education savings plans. I haven't done it yet, and it's natural to help your own family when they're in trouble." "Okay, fine. So as long as you're helping your family, it doesn't matter how your actions affect ours." "Well, now I understand. Just do whatever you want." I hung up the phone. I explained the situation to my daughter, and together we decided to leave this house. While packing up, I was continually wrestling with my own emotions. Could he really just leave? If I got a divorce, it would also be tough on Abby. But would it be worse than staying with a man like him? As if sensing my dilemma, my daughter smiled gently at me and said, "Mom, don't worry about me. In fact, I don't want to be with someone who hurts you. But if we get a divorce, you will also have to change schools. That's an invaluable experience, and I also despise Dad after today. I can't believe he tried to unilaterally cancel my education savings plans. Abby, thank you." "No, thank you, Mom, for putting up with it until now. Come on, let's get ready." My prideful husband, as I thought, wouldn't be coming home for a while. As expected, then we could prepare for the move smoothly, and we were able to secure the apartment we had our eyes on quickly. At the same time, I began looking for a divorce lawyer. A few days after the move, my unrepentant husband started to send me persistent emails. "My sister really needs it. You have to lend it to her." The education savings plan issue. I didn't really cancel it, right? We are family. Aren't we supposed to help each other in times like these? He didn't show any signs of remorse, and his messages were nothing but self-serving excuses. I was dumbfounded. I couldn't even reply. But I knew that without doing something, nothing would be resolved. I decided to take my lawyer and head to my in-laws. As soon as we arrived, my husband and in-laws began to berate me. "How dare you bring a lawyer? All you had to do was lend us the money." "That's right, your sister-in-law is in trouble." "Exactly. Opal, please lend us a little." In response to my husband's final, "We are family," I replied firmly. "Family? No, we're getting a divorce." "So we're not family." Caught off guard by my declaration of divorce, my husband's face was a picture of confusion. "Divorce? You're joking, right?" Why would I joke about something like this? You only see me as a cash cow, even thinking of canceling your own daughter's education savings plans and insurance. I can't possibly stay with someone like you. Wait a minute. You can't just divorce me over this. I was just trying to help my sister. Oh, well then why don't you help her on your own? But remember, do it by yourself. Don't rely on me. But we're family, right? We are not family anymore. Didn't you hear? Stop being so stubborn. It's because of you and people like you that my sister thinks she can do anything. If you love your sister so much, then live by licking each other's wounds for the rest of your lives. This idiotic family. With an unprecedented level of volume in my voice, I silenced my husband and the in-laws. I slammed the divorce papers onto the table and, fueled by anger, left the in-laws' house. Afterwards, with the help of my lawyer, I managed to finalize the divorce. I made sure to request child support from my ex-husband. As for the sister-in-law who caused all this, it seemed she's still living her lavish lifestyle. According to my divorced ex-husband and sister-in-law, she is making sure to collect both the compensation and child support payments in full every month. Of course, my sister-in-law couldn't possibly cover all the costs herself. I hear she's working in bars and nightclubs now. Her appearance is ragged, and her hair is a mottled mess of colors. She can't afford new clothes or even the luxury of dyeing her hair. It seems like she's just scraping by every month. On top of that, her lover discarded her pretty quickly, and now she's relying on her parents' help, living in their house, feeling embarrassed. Cheating doesn't just leave you with nothing. It puts you in the negative. I can't fathom why they don't understand that. Really, a hopeless family all around. Even months after the divorce, I'm still getting those romantic emails from my ex-husband. I was wrong. I realized that the most important thing to me is Opal and Abby. I want to start over. Let's create a new story as a family of 3. The only one I love is Opal, so let me reclaim our love. Of course, I'm not replying to any of them. He's also been sending my daughter these creepy emails. I've told her not to reply. I kept his contact info for child support, but he's so relentless that I'm thinking of having my lawyer handle it from now on. It seems like Abby has adapted to her new school. She talks about her friends enthusiastically every day. Seeing her like this, I can finally relax a bit. From now on, I want Abby and me to combine our strengths and enjoy our happy days together.